Hey guys, it's Rachel T here with NBSE, Mind, Body, and Spirit Entrepreneur. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about making career changes. When you decide that your career is just not working for you anymore, how do you take those next steps to first find a career that would be a better fit and then actually pursue it? So if you have not yet signed up for the Mindset Makeover Challenge, it's a free mini course, information's below. It talks a lot about getting over those subconscious blocks. So a lot of times, whenever you make any change in life, you have to get over a lot of mental barriers. So if you think that's kind of what's standing in your way, doubt, fear, insecurities, go ahead and enroll. It's a 3-day challenge, all free. Let's go ahead and jump right into today's topic. So we're talking about a career change. And this is really directed for anybody, but specifically people who have been in a certain career for at least a couple years, up to 15, 20 years, and you just know it's not a fit. But you don't know what would be a better fit. I'm going to give you 4 steps to get you from not knowing what you want to do to being clearer and being able to take action on it. Okay, so step number 1 is just to ask yourself and get really, really clear on why you want to make this career change. What isn't a fit? What don't you like about it specifically? And write down the answer. So is it the finances? Is it that you just don't find it fulfilling? But get more specific than I don't find it fulfilling or it's the finances. What about the finances? How much more money do you want to make? What specifically is not fulfilling? Maybe you are somebody who wants to help others and you feel like you're just not doing that in your current path. Okay, get specific on that. You don't get to help others. In what ways do you want to help others? The more specific you can get, the clearer your mind will become and the clearer your options will become. It's also going to help prevent shiny object syndrome. So what happens, and this happened in my own life too, was you just went out of your current situation and so you jump into another situation because it seems better. And maybe you only focus on like 1 or 2 aspects that might be better. So maybe it's a job that has more money or a greater income potential. Or it's a job where, I just want to do something that helps people. So you jump into a job that's, you get to help people, but you don't consider the other aspects. And then what happens is 6 months, a year down the road, you realize that that job isn't fulfilling either. It hasn't met all your needs. So getting super clear is going to help prevent this shiny object syndrome. An example from my own life was whenever I decided that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, I wanted to get management experience. And so I saw an ad for managing a coffee shop. And I applied and was like, this is going to be wonderful. It's going to give me management experience. I had experience working in a coffee shop and I loved it. Those were my favorite jobs. I had 1 job in high school, 1 job between college and grad school. Loved it. So I just jumped on this opportunity. Whenever I went to the interview, I felt something was off, but I ignored all those things. And it ended up being the worst, I think it was 2 months, maybe 6 weeks of my life. For many reasons I'm not even going to get into, but I could tell that these were going to be issues during the interview. Yet, I just wanted something so different than what I was doing previously. I wanted to get that management experience. I, jumped on the first opportunity that came about. So if I would have gotten clear and centered before, I would have never taken that opportunity and I would not have had 2 months of hell. So that is step number 1. Let's move on to step number 2 in this career change process. So step number 2 is to write down everything that you want from your new career. What do you need to be fulfilled in this new career? And depending on where you are in your journey, not necessarily how old you are, but where you are really in your journey getting to know yourself, this might be easy for some, it might be harder for others, and it might be incredibly eye-opening for some. The reason for this is many of us kind of just went along a certain path. And, we did what our parents modeled for us, or we did what our parents and teachers told us to do or expected us to do. And So we followed this path, and this led to one step, which led to another, which led to another, which led to another, and we just kind of fell into different careers or to different positions, and that's how we ended up where we are. And a lot of times, people don't stop to really evaluate if this is in line with who they truly are on the inside and if it's in line with their value system. So for example, in my own life, I knew I was going to go to college. It just wasn't even an option. So I went to college and I just kind of majored in something that I thought, would be cool. And then I went to grad school because I couldn't get a job with my undergrad degree. And then I got a job and because it was what I got my graduate degree in. And then, come the time I'm in my late 20s, I'm like, whoa, this isn't at all the path that I wanted to take. I just kept doing the next steps. Focusing on the next step. What was I going to do next? I never stepped back to really evaluate what I wanted to do. And I didn't reach that point until I was very unhappy. So if you're thinking about a career change, most likely you're at that point where you have some level of unhappiness, unfulfillment. This is the perfect time to get clear on what you want. Not what society expects of you, not what your teachers or your parents told you to do or what they molded you to be, or who they molded you to be rather. This is a time to get very clear. And a lot of times it can help to just journal it, write it down. I love free journaling. It has helped me with so many decisions in my life. When you just write down, what do I want in my career? And then you just write and you don't censor yourself. And then you kind of take a break and you come back and read it and it can be very eye-opening. Okay, so that is number 2. Let's move on to the third step in this process. All right, step number 3 to making this career change is to research all the opportunities that you possibly can that are in line with your value system. You have now written down your list of what you want from your new career. Use this to guide you. And I know this might seem a little daunting, or maybe it sounds exciting to some depending on how you look at it, but I'm here to tell you that researching is the most important step that you can do. You have no idea how many opportunities are out there until you go looking for them. Again, back to, and I can speak for my generation. I'm 30, I'm a millennial. I was told you either go to college or you have a blue collar job. But if you can go to college, you definitely go to college. And you just major in something and you'll get a good job. You could be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. And there was about 10 different careers that I knew of whenever I was in high school. And maybe by the end of college, I knew 20. And by the end of grad school, I was just thinking about what I could do with my degree, which really narrowed what I thought my career options were. So it's time now to think outside the box. Once I did my own research, I always wanted to write a book. And I never even thought it was possible. It wasn't even in the cards for me, at least not right now, maybe way down the road. But I was researching and I just stumbled upon how you can write and self-publish books and how there's all these resources out there that make it super easy. I would have never stumbled upon that unless I was proactively researching different things that I could do. And since then, I've written several books. And it was a wonderful experience. And people in my life they've told me how wonderful they think that is and how they have always wanted to write a book, but they're nervous. And, don't let these preconceived ideas that you have about what you can and cannot do stop you in this research process. Research everything and then research a way to get you there. And this leads us right into step number 4, which is the final step, and that's to take action. So you now know what you don't like, what you don't want in another career. You know what you absolutely do want in another career. You've researched different options. And you've also researched how you would go about making this career change. So if it would require going back to school or maybe getting additional training, none of this is going to come to fruition unless you take action. And a lot of times, so many of us have this idea, like I said, people that came up to me and said, oh, always wanted to write a book. I just think that's so admirable that you could do that. Well, that's because I did it because I turned my idea into action. And I took it one step at a time. It's not like I just, boom, wrote a book. No. I had to take some additional training on, enroll in some classes on writing. I hadn't written really since grad school, which was 8 years ago. So I had to refresh my writing skills. And then also I had to learn about editing and graphic design and book covers and outsourcing and all that kind of stuff. But I just took it one step at a time. And I wrote my first book and I self-published it. And then once I knew it, then I was able to do it again. So none of these ideas are going to come to fruition unless you take action on it. And it might seem overwhelming, but doing one thing every day is going to get you to this new life. Try not to let these perceived obstacles stop you. The second component of taking action is to actually get involved with this new career or new business maybe that you want to start, and make sure that it's going to be worth all the work and effort that you are going to put into getting there. So again, how I mentioned the shiny object syndrome, try to do everything you can not to fall into that pattern. If you are in a corporate job and you love yoga and you want to be a yoga instructor, talk to yoga instructors who do it full time. See what their life is like. There might be some things that you have to sacrifice. Benefits is one of them. Can you go without benefits? Really understand this new career that you're getting into. And then also talking to people who are in that field and doing some shadowing can also help you develop your plan of action of how you're going to get there. You can develop a timeline. And this will help you develop a very concrete goal and a concrete plan of action that you can work on. So then okay, I want to change careers. I have to stay in this current career for about a year. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be saving X amount out of my paycheck every single month. And I'm also going to be taking these online courses or getting my yoga certification. And I'm also going to join all these meetup groups and, network with different yogis or business owners, so that at the end of this year, when I have my money saved up and I have my certification, then I am ready to make that change. So there you have it. 4 steps to changing careers. And I hope that this helped you out. I hope that it got the wheels turning a little bit, and I wish you luck. And coming from somebody who has been there, who got a graduate degree and went through, paid tons of money and did all the internships and all the research and the thesis and then got a job and worked my corporate job and then just said screw it and left it all behind. And I'm much happier now. I'm here to tell you that you can find what your passion is and you can pursue it. It might not happen like that, and it's going to be most likely an up and down process. It's not going to be just a straight linear, to your ideal future, but you can get there. And when you come out on the other side, you're so grateful that you did this. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, if you feel like there's some subconscious or mental barriers or blocks that you need to overcome in this process, click below, sign up for the Mindset Makeover 3-part challenge, and I will see you next time. Bye.